Yeah. That team seems to have all systems go. Not only personnel-wise are they very talented, but schematically they seem to be firing on all cylinders. So for us, it'll be communication, which I think was a little bit lacking last week, and then just understanding what the defense is bringing us, and then making in-game adjustments and just competing. I think that's the biggest thing is you got to compete against these guys because they play hard.
How would you characterize the type of talent Parsons is?
Oh, I mean, he can line up anywhere on the field. Truly, you say that, but the guy really lines up everywhere on the field and has playmaking ability wherever he lines up. So, extremely talented football player. I think he great competitive motor as well, and it'll be a challenge for all five of us to kind of match the football IQ as well as what he's able to bring to the table.
I think Josh has been sacked, 18 times this season. What's been so good about the pass protection? What kind of goes into weekly just kind of being able to protect him?
Yeah, it's well, first of all, I think a lot of it comes down to him avoiding when we mess up. His ability to scramble is, second to none in the NFL and really gets us out of a lot of jams. Along with that, I think just being on the same page as an offensive line and running backs and taking pride in our technique and understanding that we're always a work in progress and there's always stuff that you show on film from the week before that teams can attack, and we're trying to mitigate those mistakes as much as possible. So I think first and foremost comes down to Josh giving us the opportunity to, just to bail us out a few times, and then also just all being on the same page.
Did you get an assist on Josh's touchdown run?
It's hard to tell when it's kind of just such a hodgepodge of people.
What's that like?
It was really cool. It was super unique. I think a lot of credit goes to Josh for keeping his legs alive. And then when you see that, you really just try to push the pile forward. I know that's cliche, but that was the best case scenario. And credit to Josh for not going down. That's such a big role. He had such a big role in that. And then for us, it's just finding any real estate you can and just driving your legs. And hopefully it complements the play rather than as a detriment to it.
Josh did the flex after. It seems like to us he's playing with maybe a little bit more emotion. What's it like seeing him kind of show that personality that we've come to see?
Sure. When Josh is showing that emotion, kind of feeling like himself, not that he hasn't in the past, but you can tell when he walks into a huddle, Josh has got he's got moxie, but he also has command of the huddle, and that really permeates through the rest of the guys. And he's just been doing a great job of just playing with his heart on his sleeve, and what that does for an offense and for an individual is tremendous.
I know it hasn't been the easiest season coming off an emotional win last week. Is there any way to bring some of that momentum into Sunday?
I think the thing we understand is through this season is the parity of the league and how if you let it, you can ride the highs and the lows. So for us, we're just trying to be as consistent as possible, understanding what has worked the past few weeks and what hasn't in the past, and just trying to recreate those moments. You stack those moments, and then you've compounded a bunch. Come Sunday, it's a good deal.
How do you help the younger players who have big roles in the team kind of understand to not ride the highs and the lows, or I guess to ride the highs?
Sure. Yeah. It's tough because it does take some time on task to understand what a player's saying. I can tell someone as much as I want until I'm blue in the face. But it's about not only how receptive you are of it, but also understanding it and in context. And sometimes you understand it in context by going through it. So I will give credit to these guys. These young dudes have really just put their nose to the grindstone, have not wavered in this very long season, because it's not only long, but it's been an emotionally taxing season. So a lot of credit to those guys.
You guys won a game where a receiver didn't have more than 25 yards.
is it important to kind of be able to win games different ways?
Yeah, totally. I think you got to find a multitude of ways to win a season. I think when you see those teams that make these huge pushes, which is something we aspire to be. I can't say we will, but we aspire to be. You look at these teams, they've won close games, they've won them in a multitude of ways, kind of leaning on everyone at certain times, and then also having these players who are used to a certain role having to fill another one, or maybe not having the role that they were expecting at certain games. And I always think the NFL is one of those leagues that the best teams are able to have the game plan adjustments mid-game. And I give that credit to the coaches and the players for kind of understanding that.
Connor McGovern spent some time with the Cowboys. Is the narrative maybe pushed a little too much about learning something from the team that a guy came over from, or are there some things that you can learn?
Yeah, that's a good question. I think you try to impart your wisdom as much as you can. It's so individualistic in regards to how you process stuff. I know that's a weird way of saying it, but in the end, it does have a little bit of an advantage just asking, but at the same time, it's not this huge thing where you can come in and give like all these details about certain ways they're going to do certain things. And I think it's more individual to the individual. He'll have a little bit of familiarity with just maybe some of the guys he's going against, and that doesn't mean you're going to have success. It just means you have this wisdom just from time on task against a certain guy.
Teammates with Dion for a long time now. Where do you think his playing level is at this point in the season?
I think Dion he's always amazed me with his physical ability. I think the thing this year that's just been inspiring is, and it's not like he hasn't done this before, but his attention to detail and his persistence in working and knowing what kind of player he wants to be and what player he wants to be on film, and really showing that. And he's just been a guy you really haven't had to think about much, because that left side he's gonna take care of his business. And I've just been super proud of him, and a guy I've played with more than anyone in my entire football career is Dion. And it's just been such a privilege to see him play, especially this year.
Spencer Brown, his career hasn't always been on the ascension. There's a lot of talk about him the last couple of years. It seems like he's really stabilized things on the right side of the line. How have you kind of seen him grow and kind of just become comfortable in the player that he is?
Spencer takes a lot of pride in doing things the right way. He takes a lot of pride in being a professional, and I think that's tough to learn what a professional means to you, because it's individual to the person, not only what you got going on off the field or how your body responds to certain things. Everything is so individual to the person, and so he's really honed in on his schedule, his routine, and he's taken pride in it, and pride in studying and just working on his technique, and putting his best foot forward out there. It's been inspiring to see. It's been really cool. Especially both of these tackles have been really fun to watch. It's been a joy to see them just kind of put their talents on display. Appreciate you.